welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Yeah, finally back. It's been more than a month at least for me. Anyway, Alvino. We just caught the heretics with the merchant, right? Captain Ilbert seemed confident that the merchant's resolve would swiftly crumble when pressed. If so, we should have new information along. As to whether it will bring us any closer to learning the Ivy's identity, I would rather not say. Given our adversary's cunning, I shall consider us fortunate if we have spared another wild dodo chase. The gods know we have more than enough to occupy our time as it is. And where's Captain Ilbert? Captain Ilbert, your report, if you will. Aye, Commander. Firstly, with regard to the heretics we captured, I regret to say the man could tell us naught that we did not already know of Shiva. We have since handed him over to the Ishgardian authorities. Henceforth, the Holy See will pursue the matter independently. Our inquiries concerning the Ivy, however, have proven more fruitful. We have ascertained the channel by which the heretics acquired the information on the shipment routes. Go on. You will recall the flame we first identified as being in the Ivy's employ. From him, we were able to trace a trail of conspirators, each taking us closer to his master. Alas, the tale came to an abrupt end. Fearing that the investigation had been compromised, we took the necessary step of detaining all suspected of conspiracy. There were 5 on our list, including a flame stationed at Revenant's Toll. The man's primary duty was to keep an inventory of donations from abroad, the particulars of which he would share with benefactors, thereby ensuring that needs did not go unfulfilled. By virtue of his role, he was privy to the details of all shipments bound for the settlement. Needless to say, that included those originating from House Photons. He knew the precise route the caravan would take, and he sold that information to a merchant. I think I can guess which one. None other. With a little encouragement, he soon confessed to knowingly aiding and abetting the heretics. Well, that's one mystery solved at least. But what of the Ivy? Are we any closer to prizing off his mask? I dare say we are, Commander. Our relentless pursuit has forced him to commit a grave error. In a desperate bid to cover his tracks, the Ivy resorted to exercising certain administrative powers available only to high-ranking members of the Immortal Flames. If you consider then that our investigation is known to barely a handful of them, the field of suspects is greatly narrowed. You mean to say the agent is among Rauban's innermost circle? Someone who has been with him since the Immortal Flames' establishment? 'Tis a most plausible explanation. The infiltration likely occurred during the company's founding, with the groundwork for the act being laid beforehand. To slip into a position of authority unremarked, and remain above suspicion all these years? I too was surprised, though I really should not have been. Of the 3 grand companies, Ul'dah's was ever the more vulnerable to infiltration. Both Limsa and Gridania had long-standing armed forces that lent themselves well to the formation of a Maelstrom and the Order of the Twin Adder. To all intents and purposes, it was the same people. Loyal ones mind under the same leadership. Only the banner was different. Not so the Flames. Ul'dah's military was made up of disparate orders, most of which were glorified mercenary companies that answered only to their own paymasters. Hardly an ideal environment in which to establish something as high-minded as a grand company. The difficulties Rauban faced when founding the Immortal Flames are well known. Even after he had convinced his fellow syndicate members to share the cost, there remained the small matter of finding enough bodies to fill the ranks. Indeed, and given the pressing nature of the Imperial threat, that meant recruiting every passing sellsword. Amidst the chaos of its foundings, it would have been child's play to infiltrate the company. A good deal easier than now, aye. The Immortal Flames have ever been caught between conflicting interests, the public and the private. Though The monetarists ultimately agreed to support the organization's founding. It was not out of charity that they did so, but simple self-preservation. Had Neil Van Darnus' ambitions been any less apocalyptic, you may be sure that they would never have risked supplying Rauban with an army. 'Tis but a wonder they did not attempt to extinguish the flames the moment the danger had passed. Returning to the present. Even as we speak, our Doman allies are shadowing several high-ranking flames. Any one of them could be the Ivy. Desiring to deal a blow against the Empire, the refugees were eager to lend us their aid. I expect to hear from them ere long. Very good. Pray continue your investigation with the first. Meanwhile, have a second attend to the unrest. The third can join with the fourth in inspecting crystal shipments. If they notice anything unusual, I want to know about it. If Shiva is summoned in like manner to the other primals, the heretics will be looking for further supplies. Understood, Commander. I shall send word to Sir Emmerich informing him of our success in identifying the heretics' abettors. Hopefully the information will be of some use to the Ishgardians. It is time, Commander. Yes, I'm aware. An emergency council of the Alliance leadership has been called. There have been developments in Garlemald, it would seem. As commander of the Crystal Braves, my presence has been requested. I would have you accompany me, Desiree. As the realm's stoutest champion, it is only meet that you be present for the discussion. Oh, and the Antecedent has already given her consent, lest you worry. Alfie, no. It would have been very nice had you asked me before you commanded me, you know? Just a bit of courtesy. Upon the honor of the Crystal Braves, I swear that I shall not rest until the Ivy is unmasked and in chains. Like me, you're doubtless eager to conclude our business with Iceheart, but until another path to her sanctum is found, she will remain beyond our reach. Minfilia and the Archons are sparing no effort to secure an alternate route. Until such time as they succeed, I suggest we give some thought to the realm's other problems. I shall go on ahead to Gridania in readiness for the coming council. Meet me at Novika's altar, and we shall make our way to the Lotus Stand together. Unlike Rauban, politics is not my cup of tea. While you and the commander attend the council, I will attend to some business of my own. My thanks for coming. When you are ready, speak with the conjurer yonder. She will show us to the Lotus Stand. Let me in. The Alliance leaders await you at the Lotus Stand. Will you be joining us now?
Change has come to the Garlean Empire, and we must discuss the implications.
The rumors are true, then? The War of Succession is ended?
It is. A new emperor reigns in Garlemald.
Who?
The birth and all too rapid expansion of the Garlean Empire is commonly attributed to the strategic brilliance of Solus Zosgalvis, yet he did not rule alone. Several members of the royal household also distinguished themselves during his reign. Nevertheless, it was the eldest son who stood to inherit the throne, until his most untimely passing.
I thought us fortunate when I learned that the Emperor had died without naming a successor.
Spitting on the sarcophagus?
Would that the Garlean Empire had died with him.
'Twas the grandson and his uncle who had the strongest claims, was it not?
Indeed, yet claims count for little without the power to assert them. High Legatus Varus Ye Galvus is a respected military leader. Not so his uncle.
So young Varus has torn the crown from his uncle's grasp and taken his place at the head of the Empire.
He doesn't look that young.
Given the troubled nature of his succession, the new emperor will require time to seal his grip on power. Yet have no doubt but that he shall, for there are none left with strength enough to oppose him.
Since the success of Operation Archon, the remnants of the 14th Legion and the forces occupying Alamigo have done naught but fortify their positions. But you can be sure they'll be ready to march on us again, if their Emperor gives the word.
When, not if. They say this Varus was so set upon Eorzean annexation that he spoke out against the Meteor Project.
Plainly, the new emperor's intentions are of great concern to us all. I propose that we set aside the Cartno dispute for the present, and discuss what measures the Alliance might take to prepare for a resumption of hostilities with Garlemald. Moreover, I move that we re-examine the question of how our former allies in Ishgard might be persuaded to retake their place at our side. Could Eorzea but stand as one, 'twould deal a grave blow to our enemies' ambitions.
Well, I suppose we should be grateful that they have finally acknowledged the inevitability of Imperial attack. Who knows? They may even do something about it. If only the leaders of Ishgard would follow their example and stop hiding behind their gates, praying for the coming storm to pass them by. But that is a discussion for another time. At present, I am more concerned by the fact that the Alliance's mooted preparations will be made known to the Garleans many moons before their coming. So long as the Ivy eludes our grasp, no secret is safe.
Alright, Avenue. It will not have escaped your notice that the nations of Eorzea are no nearer to being of one purpose, despite their protestations to the contrary. Plainly, the threat of a resurgent Garlemald is not enough to stir them. And the reason for this? Deep-rooted mistrust among the citizenry. The nation's leaders can come to all the understandings they like, but their unity means little and less to the common folk. Take the Luminsons for instance. Though Admiral Merwip outlawed piracy over a decade ago, foreigners still picture the nation as a haven for grog-swilling, wooden-legged cutthroats. And likewise, the Gridanians are mocked as hermits who talk to trees, and the Uldans scorned as swindlers who worship coin. Not that such sentiments are entirely without grounds, of course. Take that pillar of Uldan society, Telegi, for example. But that is beside the point. The fact is that people are wary of outsiders, whether they have cause to be or not. On that basis, one could argue that the conflict at Cartano is a necessary evil. Each nation has its own warmongering faction that advocates the acquisition of Omega. In order to placate them, we present them something resembling warfare, and thereby curb their appetite for full-scale conflict. But enough idle musing, let us speak of a more pressing matter. The Ivy. Since we spoke at the observatory, Captain Ilbert has further shortened his list of suspects. And by happy coincidence, the one he deemed the most likely candidate is lately come to Gridania. The hunt is near its end this way. All that remains is to corner our quarry. Seek out Ilbert near the Adder's Nest. He will give you the particulars. Should there be any developments in Corthus, you will be sure that I will send word without delay. In the meantime, I wish you success in apprehending the Ivy. Speak with Ilbert. Thanks for coming, Simon. Doubtless the commander has informed you, but we have unmasked the Ivy. From this point on, we must proceed with extreme caution. No. Don't really like the look. And I know I have a gloom. Yeah, I take Astrum. Listen well. The spy we've been seeking all this time is none other than Flame Marshal Aline Royol, Rauban's second in command. Prior to joining the Immortal Flames, she was a mercenary of no small renown. They say her skill with her polearm had to be seen to be believed. Of Ishgardian birth, she's the highest-ranking foreigner in the Immortal Flames, barring the Flame General himself, of course. When he formed the Grand Company, Rauban chose people based on their worth. Whence they hailed was of no interest. The monetarists saw things differently, however. Having funded the enterprise, they reserved the right to reject candidates nominated for high-ranking positions. And it was no secret that they did not favor foreigners. Ishgardians especially, after the way the Holy See forsook the alliance. Yet the monetarists did not raise so much as a murmur of protest when Royol was appointed to her post. Something strange, is it not? Could it be that the Ivy has some hold over the monetarists? But these revelations are secondary to our current mission. Of foremost interest to us is Royol's presence here now. As you may be aware, it is the duty of a Flame Marshal to command the Immortal Flames in the absence of a Flame General. While Urbana attended the Council of Alliance Leaders, she should have remained in the Hall of Flames. The woman has no business being here in Gridania. Yet here she is nonetheless, on some pretense. She's up to something, mark my word. Even as we speak, I have a dozen men trawling the Flames' records for evidence of Royol's guilt. But if we can catch her red-handed, we shall have all the proof we need. Which brings me to the plan. I have people watching the city gates, the airship landing and the docks. Every point of egress. She cannot leave without our knowledge. All that remains to shadow her until she betrays her true purpose. Can I rely upon your eyes, Scion? You have my thanks. Let us go then, and take care not to alert our quarry. So, Ralbon's second in command is the traitor. That can't be good. Rayoul is headed in the direction of a blue badger gate. With me, Scion. So Rayoul has entered the Garlean canopy. Meeting someone perchance? Or could it be she means to board an airship? Pray look for her within. If she's not on the upper floor, try the landing area below. One of mine is stationed there and she may have seen something. Ephemery is her name. I shall remain here in case Rayoul reappears. I don't see her. This cling was such an unexpected pleasure. What brings you here? Ah, a social visit, you say? How pleasant. No, she didn't come this way. I've noted every passenger and none bore any resemblance. Well, don't let me keep you. Nowhere to be seen, you say? And you're sure she did not board an airship? She did not come back out either. When Miss Seventh could she have gone? The roost. How could I forget? Greetings, good sir. Might I interest you in some Muntoy tonic? A cup a day imbues a man with great vigor, if you take my meaning. Perhaps another time, friend. Wait, the necklace. You're a shinobi of Doma. The woman you seek has left Gridania by way of West Shore Pier. She was attired as a merchant, but these eyes are not so easily deceived. You may wish to take your search to the East Shroud. Rest assured that we shall continue to support you from the shadows. Thank the 12 for the Domans. But not for their unique talent, Rayoul would have disappeared without a trace. Pretty certain. Doesn't suit her. This thing is just plain terrible. I don't have the drops yet, but I take the... No range DPS. Okay, come on. Load in next quest. Our hunt leads us to the East Shroud, Scion. I suggest we follow Rayoul's example and take the ferry from West Shore Pier. You'll doubtless wish to make certain preparations. See to him while I go on ahead. I shall wait for you at Sweetbloom Pier. I think there's a quest that they removed here, where you went to all the town exits and asked if someone had seen the Flame Marshal, but no one had recognized her. And then the shinobi approached you. This way, my friends. Your query makes for the Hawthorne hut. If Viola is truly the one we seek, we can expect that she means to make contact with the Garlean masters there. An explanation is in order. You're not aware that the Garleans have their own method of communicating over great distances? Well, our ingenious friends at Garland Ironworks have provided us with devices which disrupt these communications, and we have installed them around the city-states. In so doing, we have made it difficult for Imperial agents to correspond with their masters. While Yol would thus have no choice but to rendezvous with her Imperial contact directly, yet as a well-known face in the Immortal Flames, she cannot move about Fennerland without being recognized. It will only be a matter of time before someone saw through her disguise. It is for this reason, I believe, that she has chosen the Black Shroud for a clandestine meeting. The Ellison are a common sight here, and her comings and goings are not like to turn any heads. As my scouts tell it, the Garleans have sent agents with a mind to destroy the devices and render such direct contact unnecessary. Fortunately, our shinobi have thus far been successful in rebuffing their efforts. This is it. We need only make for Hawthorne Hut and catch Rayol in the act. And here too, I remember you had to go and help the shinobi defend the devices in the South Shroud. And then come back here. If Rayol was here, she's no more. We have no choice but to continue the pursuit. My people report that our quarry has departed for Bramble Patch. The Ivy returns to the gnarls whence she came, but perhaps it's all for the better. To convict someone of her standing, we will require damning evidence against her. What could be better than to catch her in the act when she meets with her Garlean masters? My countrymen and I shall lie in wait in the shadows. Tread warily, my friends. Just beyond, Viola is in conversation with an individual clad in the manner of an adventurer. An Imperial intermediary, no doubt. This is it. With me. Flame Marshal Eileen Rayol, you are under arrest for treason and espionage. You have followed, you bloody fool. Damnation. You are unarmed, my lady, and scarcely garbed for battle. But if you wish to fight, you are welcome to try. What is the meaning of this, Captain? Would you arrest me for strolling in the 12th wood? When last I looked, that was no crime. Neither was conversing with passing strangers. You would feign ignorance, then? Very well. If you do think of something to say, there will be plenty of time to say it later. Now come quietly, or I shall make you wish you had. I will offer you no struggle. After all, I have naught to hide. Even a warrior of Rayol's renown could not have hoped to escape by force. Despite her claims, her surrender does not bespeak innocence, but an awareness that her position is untenable. With the ivy thus uprooted, it is to be hoped that the tendrils she entwined around the immortal flames will gradually wither and die. Mayhap then the people of Ulda will have a grand company they deserve, but let us speak of the present. If I may ask, what will you do now, Desiree? So, the Science seek a way into Isard's sanctum. Then I dare say you are eager to return to the Rising Stones. Do not let me keep you. Fear not, my countrymen and I shall tend to the aftermath. You need not waste your talents here. And speaking of talents, you have been training in the art of the shinobi, have you not? The change in your bearing is quite evident, to me at least. I look forward to seeing you in action. The next time, my friend. It is, in fact, pretty certain my highest leveled class. The ninja. 67 or something I'm already. Welcome back, Desiree. I understand that Alvin had a task for you. May I ask what it was? Charges of treason and espionage against Eileen Rayol? I can scarce believe it. Could there not have been some matter of misunderstanding? No, it awaits us not to dwell on it. Whatever the truth may be, we must trust to the authorities to uncover it. Let us speak of another matter. I'm pleased to report that we have made progress in our effort to find a way into Isard's sanctum. And I think we deal with Isard's sanctum next time, possibly? Until then, I am Mace, and don't get lost.